officially recording, and here we go. Okay, woo. So first thing is this GiGi for you. I feel, let me put the desk view back on here so we can all see. Okay. We'll move it out of my face, my bad. Come on. Perfect. Okay, so this GiGi we have for you, she tells me she passes of something underlying, I would say medical. She talks about being taken care of at the end of her life. Multiple times she makes me feel like the ending, no matter what she was passing from, the ending was more of like suddenly, unexpectedly, something of the upper chest. Like she had a hard time breathing. She said she's like a mother figure to you. I think we have either a piece of her jewelry or a piece of her in jewelry or something we wear in honor of her memory. Does this make sense so far for you, Miss Valerie? Maybe my mom, not GiGi. Okay, and then this person also brings a male over there from the, and it could be your mom, because she said mother figure, if that's who she's identifying as. Okay, hold on. And then this person, even if it is your mom, is bringing a male with them who seems older, and he says he has a hard time walking toward the end of his life, and then he either served or was of service in career while he was here in the physical world, and he also passed of something medically, like a heart attack or something like that, if that male would also make sense for you. Because she brings him through and says that, like, they helped each other transition to the other side. So maybe if she has a dad or something. I know, interesting. I'm just gonna go ahead and show this to the camera real quick here on TikTok, because that's where we're recording it. Hi, Mel. Valerie says it sounds more like her mom, which is fine. Oh, maybe her husband. So her mom and her mom's husband are both over there on the other side. Okay, and then they helped each other transition. Okay. So now I'm looking for a GiGi. So is GiGi a grandmother figure for you, or give me just to pull her out of it? So we've got, wait, pause. How did mom end up passing? I want to get a bunch of information out there. Okay, perfect. So it's your daughter, so that's a whole different. Okay. How did GiGi end up passing? Because we said it was medical, potentially underlying of cancer, potentially being taken care of, or something of the upper chest that was making it difficult to breathe. Okay, she goes long-term illness, very fast, right at the end. Okay, and then that's where she said the suddenly, unexpectedly. And do we have any of, yeah. And so I'm just getting through GiGi first, trying to give everybody a portion of the stage. And so I just want to make sure everything, and then do we have her jewelry? That's the only other thing she had on this piece of paper that I want to make sure we cover. Do you have some sort of jewelry that mom left behind, or her ashes in jewelry by any chance, or just ashes? Okay, and Valerie says yes. All right, so you're right. That totally did sound like mom. And then she brought in the male, so her husband. One indication is, then you said GiGi is a daughter, so that makes me think she's either gone less than a year or has to take partial responsibility for the way that she passed. And then she goes like this and says, tragically, and then has darker hair. Does this make sense for you? Because that's the only reason she'd had to come in behind two other people, is if she passed before her time, dark hair, tragically, and she has to like take responsibility for it in some way. And I ask her about this, and then she gives me an analogy. She shows me something flip-flopping, and usually that's my sign and symbol that like a situation flip-flops right at the end, but she flip-flops it and says, you know what, it really wasn't, no matter what way you spin it, no matter what way you flip-flop it, it really, like, the outcome wasn't going to get any better, she said. Okay, and so she said it was very recent and it was tragic. So it makes sense. She wrote down that it was tragic. In some way, she's taking partial responsibility. We will get there. She still says, like, I just see a box, a neatly closed box with all of her things. So maybe we have a bunch of things of hers still, which I don't think that we would have gotten rid of it in any way. Just like, you know, I'm going to keep this forever, but it's to the tippy top. Like, there's no air room in the box. Like, it's all, like, closed, packed really tight. Anyways. Okay. And so, one thing she also says, and then I'll ask you to explain in a minute, but I like to give as much information as I possibly can. She says, going, gone. So she talks about the pancake flip. Even right at the end, even if we were to catch it, there's nothing we could do about it. Going, gone means it was probably something we had been doing for a while, whether we've got a lead foot or an issue, or we're experiencing something very emotional, which is something that we had talked about right before we got on here. And she's just talking about going, gone, been on the path for a minute, you know? And she goes, we're packing up. Oops, I left the dog outside, my bad. But you're like so sad she left no answers. Yeah, and then she takes that partial responsibility. So I'd have to ask if this was potentially her either taking her own life or being in a situation where she just didn't care. I don't want to say didn't care, but like kind of Jesus take the wheel type of vibe, you know? Yeah, she was, but you didn't know, right? Like, we wouldn't have known. It was a self-death, yes. And so I think that there were underlying contributing factors to it. Like, we were struggling in addition to this as well. So it's like, I don't know if, like, I can't tell if she's telling me she was also doing some substance or if she was trying and working on, like antidepressants type of thing. Wanted to be a spirit, it sounds like. That is wild for that to have been, and for her to say going, gone, it was almost like that was her vibe from the beginning. It's almost that's what you were saving her from the whole time. And then she goes like this to me, so it feels like you didn't get a chance to say goodbye. And then she goes like this to me, and she says, well, it went too quickly for you to think you could have came in and stopped it. And then she tells me she also has to take responsibility because of who found her and like how that traumatized that person. Like, you can't ever unsee it type of thing. So who ended up finding her? And I know it took me a minute to get to Miss Gigi, but we get there. There's reasons. When they're behind other spirits, there's reasons. So how did she even end up passing? You found her and you have PTSD from it, and that's why she's saying to you, Mom, that she has to take responsibility because it's how they were messed up emotionally, how she was left to be found. Then the person that found her, you know, was messed up emotionally, even still till this day. How recent was this? Then your husband, then your brother, so it's a domino effect that people were finding you. Hey, Daniel John. And then in the basement with her neck. Okay. So she's taking responsibility for the way that she was found or not doing it in a courteous way. She wants you to know you're frustrated because you've only seen her like once in a dream. She goes, I'm trying here. She's working hard with your mother on the other side and your mother's husband on the other side. So listen, she's not alone. She's at peace. Unfortunately, her soul just, you know, struggled with big things at a very young age. And she takes responsibility for, honestly, it seems like this had not been the first attempt. November, yeah, that's like 4 months. So of course it's a huge thing to still continue to be processing, and that makes sense because she had even said under a year. And so very compelling, very, very, in my opinion, obvious that this is her we're getting a connection from. She followed all the all the regular steps in order to be able to communicate because she had to take responsibility. She went behind mom and your mom's boyfriend. Okay, she left a note that made no sense, like she was in psychosis. It was not recording to the note app. Yeah, also another grandma had cancer. So I would not doubt, because she had explained that it was a very emotional reaction and she was kind of like in that direction anyways. I would not doubt that she would have left a note that made no sense, because I do believe she did it in a stage of psychosis as well. So, but thank you